Mr. Madhav Nalapat, I want to discuss another angle of this despicable comment that has been made by Bilawal Bhutto-Zardari. It's brazen, it's uncouth. The fact, I'm going to also draw a parallel to what this defense attaché of Pakistan standing in the balcony of the Pakistan High Commission in London was gesturing. He was gesturing, slitting of the throat, and he held in his hand Abhinandan Vardhaman's photograph, that poster. I mean, which diplomat, which minister, in which part of the world resorts to such uncouth, goon-like behavior as we see in the comments of Bilawal Bhutto, or for that matter, that Pakistani defense attaché?
Look, Megha, you're absolutely right on all that, and I concur fully with Ambassador Sikri. I would like to say very clearly, first of all, Bilawal Bhutto is a man who's terrified. He goes to bed terrified. And terrified of what? He is terrified of the Pakistan army. You will not forget, his grandfather was hanged by the army. His mother was shot by the army. And Bilawal is a person who has had a very comfortable life right from infancy. And he's gone through a traumatic experience of losing a mother. And I'd like to say that he is now become a puppet of the military. What he is saying is simply what from the script read out but for him by General Asim Munir. And frankly, this reveals not their strength, but their fear. The reality is, as Ambassador Sikri says, Pakistan is in no condition to fight a war. And very significantly, I've been saying this for some time, that the Chinese are preoccupied with the United States. And I now say, what has China come out in support of Pakistan? I've trawled through all the, through the net. I can't come out with any statement of support. The silence is very, very expressive. And the reality is, China does not want to have a second front. Pakistan hoped for an immediate second front from China should India attack. The reality is that China is completely preoccupied by the US under Donald Trump. And don't forget, the Director of National Intelligence herself, Tulsi Gabbard, unequivocally condemned this attack. Of course, other world leaders also have, but some people only did it on a telephone call. They were afraid to do it publicly, such as Keir Starmer of the UK. So I want to say this represents the fear of the Pakistan military at the consequences of this attack. It's a horrifying attack, and there will need to be a full, total response, a response that will ensure that these attacks do not happen once again. I mean, that I think is definitely going to happen. Mm-hmm. That okay. Bilawal Bhutto is talking about blood. I mean, the man would faint at the sight of blood. He is completely a coward. He's behaving like a coward, obeying the orders of those who killed his grandfather and mother. And now they understand that the fact is Asim Munir acted on his own. And the corps commanders were not with him. And the corps commanders who said that, there was a kind of a statement, a weak statement that, Pakistan may have been responsible. That was because the corps commanders gave a green light for that to express their displeasure with Asim Munir. Mm-hmm. They understand the consequence of this. Asim Munir believes, one last point, Megha, that the Hindus are a cowardly people. I mean, he believes that non-violence is completely natural to the Hindu psyche. That's not true. Today's Ashoka lion is certainly not a timid lion, I can tell you. And that is, since Prime Minister Modi came, The reality is that there is no fear anymore, and there is no fear of the consequences. And frankly, one taboo was broken by the counter-strike into Pakistan, and now a second taboo, I believe, is going to be broken. A much bigger taboo, because the situation is, it is an act of war, as Ambassador Sikri says, an act of war conducted by the army chief. And Pakistan is terrified of the consequences and is talking nonsense. This
Okay.
blood is absolute nonsense. They know that they're on the verge of disaster, and they also know the silence of China. They also know that they are not going to have a second front to divert the attention of India. So long as China is preoccupied with the US, as it certainly is now. Thank you.